Here's McDavid moving it on Jack Hughes. Tries to slow him down. Puck winds up behind the net. And it's Werenski. Now Jack Hughes puts it around the car. United States with numbers. Walk across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold. Jack Hughes beating Jordan Bennington.
What is going on, everybody? It is Tuesday, February 24th, episode 125, Gold at Last. My name is Will Finn. I'm joined by my brother, Andy Finn. Andy, how are you doing this evening?
Great. It's been a long month off, I feel, for me at least. But great to be back, especially after USA men's and women's gold medals out in Italy.
Yeah, we in our group chat with our Canadian friends, can you please explain to them? They were very, very confused by my words. In your own definition, Andy, what is a sweep?
It is when you win multiple things, and if there are, three or four of them, you win all four. In this case, there was two. There was men's and women's hockey.
Didn't lose a
The
game.
United States did not lose one game and ended up with gold in both 2026 Winter Olympics.
Andy, something that we talk a little bit on the show, we don't give it a lot of love, but how good did Kenny Albert do calling these games? And he was on the winning call.
Oh, he was amazing. And, to be able to just pick up all these international names, especially something, you're not used to, and nailed the call, by the way.
I mean, he does such a good job with basketball, and hockey is such a harder game to call.
Yeah, I think we were blessed with Doc Emmerich for so many years on the NBC. And then, Kenny did a great job. And that's one of those things, like, the photo of Jack Hughes is iconic, and the call is iconic as well. You look back to Miracle 46 years ago, Al Michaels' call is still played in, if you're a real hockey fan, you could recite that call, word by word. And, Kenny knocked it out of the rink, we'll say. But was great.
Andy, what do you think goes into the development of, he has to be prepared for that moment, but he also has to, obviously, they are so superstitious that he has to be genuine because he has to be prepared for both teams. What do you think goes into the preparation of, okay, I need to be prepared for if this is a blowout game, and how do I keep the energy up because it is still a gold medal game, all the way down to this is an overtime thriller and he needs to have his energy ready because, this is one of those sports, unlike any baseball, football, or basketball for that matter, that the game can be quickly decided. Yes, I know people are going to argue with me on football in overtime, but hockey, things can change very, very, very quickly, even with the ice tilted in one favor.
I think, honestly, with the 3-on-3, I think it makes it a little bit easier.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, to anticipate potential opportunities for goals, especially game-winning goals. I think they let it come natural. I don't think there's a script on what you want to say out loud because it's the magic of sports. You never know when it's going to come, and I think you just let that flow as an announcer. There's guys that will just say something quick and let the crowd take over and let that the noises from the bench, the noises from the crowd, or the absence of noise from the crowd kind of echo.
We need a shout out to Italy and the host nation, Andy, because that crowd was unbelievable.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I watched a lot of the Olympics with the audio off, simply because at work we couldn't figure out the volume on the TVs until almost the end of the Olympics, so we missed we were watching a lot of the games in silence. So I'm mad I missed that, but the final game, I mean, the crowd pop for the game winner, I'd say the crowd pop for every single goal in those final games was phenomenal.
Andy, let's talk Team USA first. Obviously, this is a sport that we were coming in. I don't want to say heavy underdogs because obviously I don't want to discredit the other teams that were involved, but we all knew that Team Canada, who we'll talk about in just a minute, were the juggernauts and favorites. Um, this is a team that had to bring back that American spirit. Given that we have been the baby brother to Canada in this one sport, we joked with our Canadian friends that I and I asked them, "Hey, what sports are the United States good at?" And one of them mentioned swimming, and I go, "Well, geez, I completely forgot how good the United States is at swimming compared to the rest of the world as well. This is the Canadian sport. And you just went and took not one, but two gold medals in dramatic fashion. How does Team USA and USA Hockey build off of that? Given that last year we saw the Four Nations tournament, which will not be back, I believe, for at least 2 years. Is it something they're going to try to do every 3 or is it every 4? Or
So
actually, Four Nations was a one-off.
it
They
was a
might do,
one-off
and they're going to attempt to do a World Cup of Hockey, I believe.
in 2 years. So next year they're going back to the regular All-Star game. Unfortunately, it'll be cool to see, who tunes in for that. There's still very cool competitions like fastest skater, hardest shot. And by the way, that's where the 3-on-3 got introduced. So it's still fun to watch. The year after, they're going back to the World Cup of Hockey, which I believe the last one was 2016. So nations again will be represented. And then we'll see, I believe, the Four Nations face off before we hit the Olympics one more time.
Andy, there are locks for the roster already, and obviously this isn't a huge hockey podcast, but you really reeled me into this sport. Last couple of years, I've been getting deeper and deeper into it. This year, I've been getting better with more of the bigger stars of the game, and they've already have announced who some of the locks are for the next Team USA Olympics and what their age would be. Obviously, you bring back Jack Eichel, Jack Hughes, who I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm still new to the sport. I didn't realize just how big of a figure he was when he was drafted by the New Jersey Devils a few years ago. He'll only be 28 at the next Olympic cycle. Quinn Hughes, Dylan Larkin, Austin Matthews will be 32. Charlie McAvoy, Tage Thompson. They said the Chuck brothers, and is it Zach Werenski?
Zach Werenski, yep.
Werenski from the Blue Jackets, right?
Former Monster,
right? And Andy, I think you have to bring the same coach back, and from there, you really got to look at a roster that it has to be able to compete against Canada again, because they're going to be able to bring back a lot of those monsters as well.
Yeah, and I pose this question: is this one of the greatest teams ever to not win a championship, not win a gold medal? This Canada team, I can't think of a better assembled team that didn't win a championship. I mean, going into the tournament, it was their medal to lose, and I'm not even going to say Team USA outplayed them. If you watch that game, USA did not outplay them at all. That
Andy,
ice was tilted.
Cool. The ice was tilted for a very long time. You and I both know, though, damn well, and that is somewhat loser mentality. If you're a Canadian fan, and saying that you still have to capitalize on the opportunities given. Austin Matthews had an absolute layup of a goal and passed. He has to be sick over that, given his stature. But Andy, Team Canada is going to bring back a very, very. Oh God, I'm looking at these names. Celebrini is going to be 23.
Yeah, And Connor Bedard's not even on the roster yet.
Correct. He'll be 24.
So, they're going to have a great assembly of players. This is great. I wish we had international hockey tournaments every year. We actually do. The Canadians talk about the World Juniors. I got to
Yep.
watch that next year.
Sure.
Give us a little bit more to talk about. But, the international hockey is by far it I'm gonna say it might not be popular, but it is better than World Cup soccer. It's better than the World Baseball Classic. It is the best international sport. These guys play for their country harder than they play for their NHL teams, and it's
Careful.
so.
Yeah, you're right,
It,
but careful. Andy, playoff hockey serious.
it is. But would you rather watch the Stanley Cup playoffs, or would you rather watch what you saw on Sunday?
Sunday.
10 out of 10.
Andy, you mentioned baseball. The last couple of years, we've had the discussion about regular season. Some people like it, some people don't like it. You like it when it works for you, and you don't like it when it works against you, but they remove it from the playoffs. The Olympics and international hockey, we argued because I was right and everybody told me I was wrong, but I guess it's new that this overtime format is 3-on-3 no matter what. I said it before the game, Andy, that Team USA needed to finish the game in regular time because I thought that Team Canada had a massive advantage when it went to overtime. Vegas agreed that Canada was minus like 150 on the money line as overtime started. Arguably the three best players in the world, Andy, were on the ice at the same time, and Canada could not get it done.
Yeah, I mean, you're holding your breath every time Canada's got the puck, and you're really not breathing when McDavid is full head of steam. Celebrating. They were doing this thing where their forward would drop back, and they either leave the puck there for him to pick up at full speed, but nobody could catch him, and they were just going in and out of the three USA players on the ice. But I think it's exciting. I love the 3-on-3. Do I want to see the championship end that way? No, but that's the rule they have in place. So you got to be prepared for it. And, it is chess in 3-on-3 overtime. It is so fast paced. The puck possession it means so much to have possession of the puck.
Yep. You have to winning the faceoff. Let's start there.
And you saw guys go out there specifically to take the faceoff and win it, and then go off the ice right away.
And that's interesting with the 3-on-3, Andy. You can win the faceoff, immediately drop back, and the winner of the faceoff can go right to the. It's kind of interesting. It's not. Oh man, I'm having a hard time saying it's real hockey because it's not.
It is. It's 100% real hockey.
Okay, so then what do you say to the Canadian people now that they won a game in a semifinal, Andy, with that format, and then they lost?
They're complaining about it because they lost that way. That's literally, if they had won both games that way, you wouldn't hear a peep. Americans would probably be saying the same thing. The loser, that's what they're upset about. I don't know what to say. That's a rule. You knew it going in that if you went to overtime, that's how you're going to have to prepare for it.
Connor Hellebuyck, last year's MVP. He carried a Jets team last year. Obviously, he's one of the reasons why they were one of the best teams going into the playoffs. A lot is being said about him convincing his gym teacher in high school to let them try to play hockey and then go from there. It's an unbelievable story, Andy.
I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, 42 shots.
He just wanted to play, like, it was either late grade school or early high school. He said, "Hey, I think we should try hockey out at gym," and the rest is history.
Wow.
He looks like a dork. Okay, something, Andy, we've talked a lot about between me, you, and Mark, and we're going to talk about it on the podcast now briefly. Johnny Hockey. Okay. All right. Listen, amazing story for the family in there, but I think that this has got to be nearly like, I love that Team USA brought the kids out on the rink, but like at some point, this has got to be ripping band-aids off for his poor wife, and this is maybe one way to kind of get out of the limelight here because the team obviously loves him.
Yeah, he should be there. He should be on that team. Again, very unfortunate situation that happened. I don't know if you know it helps her with the situation.
Maybe it does.
Like kind of just being there, being around the boys, being around the other wives helps her with the, I'm still part of this family.
Sure.
Even without Johnny being here. And if she loves that's great. But if she doesn't, like,
right. And
I think this is
the
a
team's
storybook
like,
ending.
yep, I think so too. Man, Andy,
there's two things. There's two things I want to talk about still before we turn the page on the Olympics.
I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. You could do it.
Well, the first one is, I didn't know.
I know. I think I know.
Well, no, that is probably the second one. The first one is coaches for hockey do not get medals.
Don't like it.
I hate it. There's very small coaching staff. But while we're on the topic of medals, by far the funniest thing is these guys getting stuffed animals.
Poor McKinnon, dude.
And hockey players are very well respected people.
Yeah.
For them not to rip the heads off those, because by the way, it had a very small neck. I'm surprised like one didn't get destroyed, but just like
why'd they do it on the ice, man?
Put them in the lockers or something.
Yeah,
like it's bad enough that you got to shake hands and take the medal, and then you got to go through the line again as you're getting a gift of a stuffy handed over. Because in like Athens, remember they did wreaths.
Yes,
fit the theme.
Yes,
the country, that was cool. I can't remember what other countries have done, but the stuffed animal is such a bad. It was. I get what the animal is symbolic to for the country, but man, put that in a hotel room, gift bag or something in the Olympic Village. Not as a congrats for second place, but hilarious. You can see the lip reading, the disappointment.
Right. Andy, something you talked about before the show. Big shout out to the entirety of Team USA with an impressive showing. We are a Summer Olympics country where we dominate the medal count almost every year, gold medals in total. Norway, this has been their competition since 2014 in Sochi. Before that, winners were Canada, Germany, Norway, Germany, and Russia when they were involved. Germany, I mean, these are the same countries over and over and over again. Nobody else has ever been number one in medal count other than Sweden. United States, last time with the most medals was actually 1932, Andy, in Lake Placid when, I mean, how many competitions did they really have? You and I were talking about some of the oddball stuff that's done at the Olympics that these athletes dedicate their entire lives to. We've obviously had one Summer Olympian on the show. I work with someone, Andy, whose cousin, I believe, does the snowboarding and almost made it to the medal round this year. And oddly enough, I'm DJing her wedding this upcoming year, and I was like, "Oh man, dude, if he medals, he's got to bring that medal to the wedding." So obviously, we wish him the best of luck in 4 years and get him on here at some point. But Andy, how do they train for some of this stuff skiing wise? It just like the aerial stuff, they do it into a pool and then you're just supposed to be able to land on your feet on what's damn near concrete.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of different ski jumping, snowboard jumping. You watch just I forget what it's called, was it the Nordic Combined?
Yes. Hey,
The large
you're
hill.
you're supposed to go do 7 miles cross country skiing, and then while you're out of breath, here's a pistol.
Yeah. And they're shooting 22s, 22 caliber bullets.
Yeah,
And with the wind, you know how windy it is during these snow months. It's tough to do. So
right.
you're out of breath. You're shooting. You're shooting into the wind. Pretty impressive. But Norway absolutely destroyed that stuff. And then that the large hills. They just launch down this thing and fly through the air and see how far you can fly.
Andy, every one of the competitions at the Winter Olympics requires a bit of athleticism, except one. And you did quite a bit of watching of this quote unquote sport. Defend curlers as athletes right now.
I think they're athletes because there's balance. There is definitely power when it comes to the sweeping. You know,
Okay.
I'd say balance on the ice is key, and there's accuracy to it. There's tactics to it. It is a chess match, and that hammer throw at the end, it's crucial to set yourself up for the final rock. I absolutely think they're athletes. I don't. I think to be athletic, it's something that takes a lot of skill to go out there and do, and that is not something that you can just go step on the ice and do.
Do you want anything else on the Olympics, Andy?
No, it was a fun 2 weeks. I'm selfish for the viewership. I don't like that it was, during the day. It was awesome to have stuff on there during the day, but not having stuff live at night was kind of disappointing, I guess. But
Right. Well, the 2028 Olympics are, I guess, in the United States, hosted in Los Angeles, I guess, and the tickets for that are, I guess, going out next week or something like that for pre-buying tickets, which I can't imagine. I mean, the opening ceremonies and some of the track stuff is just going to be unbelievable, ticket prices and whatnot. But we're going to segue, Andy, into the World Baseball Classic briefly here. Obviously, you and I have had fun talking hockey. Or you know what? Before we do World Baseball Classic, do you want to give a team? I talked to Carson and Taylor a bit about what team to look forward to in the second half.
oh, NHL wise,
Yeah.
yeah. Give me a second. I don't know
No,
kind of
no.
where we're at.
Andy, obviously, now that he lost in the Olympics and he's been to the last two NHL Stanley Cup finals, I know how hard it is just to get there, but I'd love to see McDavid win one.
If he doesn't, if he makes it to the finals this year and doesn't,
He's cursed.
Is he Josh Allen? Is he the NHL's Josh Allen?
He's bigger in the sport than Josh Allen is in NFL, right?
I mean, Bills are a pretty large fan base. Bills Mafia. I mean,
Yeah,
Josh Allen is
okay.
he's a cover
McDavid, a
athlete.
number one pick. I'm trying, Andy. I'm throwing stuff at you because it's a podcast. I agree with. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here a little bit. I'm not saying you're wrong,
Allen's a franchise player.
right?
I mean, he's been just with them. He's stuck with them. It was a pretty bad franchise before he was there.
Sure.
They haven't won in forever. I
Okay.
think they're the same situation.
Does he have a Leon Draisaitl?
I think he did with James Cook. I mean, he's had some good receivers out there. There's been opportunity, but he's run into Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
He's run into better players. I can see the comparison. I thought it was a fair comparison when I saw it. I think there is more opportunity and better chance for McDavid to win a cup than there is for Josh Allen to win a Super Bowl.
Oh, if Josh Allen wins a Super Bowl, it's because he literally willed the Bills to do it at this point. Roster construction. Andy, who you got?
Out of the West,
And I'll give a shout out to the Canadians here in a minute. Well, who they think?
Yeah, I'm still liking the Avalanche out of the West. I like the noise that the Minnesota Wild have been making. Especially going into the break, they were on a nice little 5-win streak. out of the East. Carolina's always up there.
Yep.
Pittsburgh being in second place is surprising. I don't want to really see Tampa Bay any more of them out of the Atlantic, but Florida being in last, what a surprise that is.
Yep.
I don't know. The East kind of seems like it's pretty open, but can Carolina finally make it out?
Right. That's who they said.
They like Carolina.
Yeah. And that's who Hockey Pete likes too.
I mean, I can definitely see that happening this year, but you never know with Tampa Bay. A team that's been there, they've got the experience in the playoffs over the last 5 years, 5-6 years. And then Colorado's just Colorado. I mean, they're having a phenomenal season.
Andy, World Baseball Classic. This is the baseball's attempt at trying to do what the Olympics just did, what soccer attempts to do. These guys do take it seriously. Some of them have multiple countries that they can play for. You mentioned Nolan Arenado playing for Team Puerto Rico this upcoming year. This United States team is filled with boppers that can score a mad amount of runs. Per the usual, it's going to be a matter of how much are we going to really get out of the pitching staff, because these guys are afraid to throw too many innings in the World Baseball Classic. Tarek Skubal in the news today, I should say yesterday, Monday, saying he will only pick up a ball one time and then likely leave. And then if they make the tournament, turn around and come back just to support.
Oh, I did not know that.
Well, it may have been tonight, late last night then, I should say.
Oh, okay.
And that certainly changed things. I don't, how many innings is Paul Skeens going to really give you? Obviously, looking over some of the other arms here, I mean, one that jumps out at you is like Clayton Kershaw, and he's nearly 40 years old, but I don't really trust guys like Joe Ryan. I know Garrett Whitlock's on there. Lots of relievers. This is a tough tournament because every game matters.
Yeah, and losing Skubal's gonna be tough. That's one of the guys that you would definitely want pitching in the final if you were to make it that far, your semifinal. But outside of that, I mean, the pitching side,
I don't really like it, Andy. They're gonna have to score a lot of runs.
I think they have a roster built to do that. Infielders.
Do you trust Matthew Boyd?
No, I don't. Unfortunately,
I don't trust Griffin Jacks.
Well, I mean,
Logan Webb.
When I was looking at the roster before the show, I look at the pitching and I was like, man, this could be tough. This could be tough. And if any of those guys go down, I could see Kershaw.
If Skubal says something doesn't feel right, he's like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And Kershaw has nothing to lose.
Correct. And I think he'll play with country pride at this point.
Yeah. But then you go back to the lineup. I mean, Pete Crow Armstrong, Judge, Roman Anthony, Buxton in the outfield. You have Schwarber, who can hit 10 home runs in the tournament alone.
And once again, he's a big country pride guy.
Yeah. I
like that they added Harper.
Yep.
Byron Buxton might play a game and then be out the rest of the tournament. How about big dumper, Cal Raleigh?
Yeah, I mean, your catchers with Will Smith and Cal Raleigh. So, hopefully there's enough at-bats to go around for all these guys. But, it's going to be a fun tournament. I think we're spoiled to go Olympics straight into this as a sports fan, with March Madness starting up as well here, conference tournaments, NCAA wrestling tournament. We've got a lot of sports in the month of March. Like, this is going to be a fun ride.
Dude, Andy, Jax Forrest on Oklahoma State. His red shirt is done.
Yeah. Yep. Get ready to see him in Cleveland.
Can you believe that? Like, in Kim versus Marcus Blaze of Penn State, obviously a big Perrysburg guy. They're on a collision course, and that's must-watch TV. I can't believe it's going to happen here in Cleveland.
I know. If you get a chance, if someone offers you tickets, go.
Oh, my God.
Doesn't matter what round. Go.
Text me, and I'll give you names, and look on the bracket and just watch. I mean, Andy, Jax Forest this past week. I know we don't talk a lot of wrestling, but I've been following the Bishop Court boys out in PA. And he just beat as a 19-year-old true freshman, half a season with Oklahoma State, half a season with Bishop McCourt. He didn't finish high school. He graduated early. I guess that means he finished high school. Part of my poor use of words there. And a 19-year-old beat a NCAA finalist out of Iowa yesterday, 20-2.
Yeah. Attacked him.
And it was relatively easy.
His first match in college, what, a pin in a minute?
Yeah.
Pin.
Oh, and if you get a chance, you guys go look up the match on YouTube. Oklahoma State does very, very, very close fans to the mat, and they do their theatrics for the entrances are awesome. And his walkout song is Funky Town. It's awesome, dude. Well, so yeah, let's talk a little March Madness, Andy. Let's do a bit of a guide here, okay? And I use what's the metric called?
KenPom?
KenPom. Excuse me. KenPom. Gordon Palm on TikTok. Basically, Andy, it looks at the metric of team and pace of play. And pace of play becomes very important at the end of the season because these efficient teams that garner more possessions typically do better in March Madness, as we saw you and I last year. We just stuck to that metric, and good Lord, did it help. Yeah, what a 14-2 run in one round.
Is that similar to the trapezoid? Have you heard that? Like that?
You're gonna have to introduce it to me, and obviously, I'll get knee deep in that math and abuse it.
So it's an upside down trapezoid, and on the graph, you want to be inside the trapezoid, and the further to the left you are is how slow you play.
Pace play, okay.
Yeah.
Or is it possessions per 60 minutes or 40 minutes?
I think that's still your pace.
Right.
But then your north-south is how successful you are at running with that pace of play. So you want to be up high with your pace.
But you want to be in the trapezoid because
correct.
if you're too far to the left, then too slow but efficient, you're not winning. You're not going to win a lot of games.
Like you need to make the most out of your possessions if you're playing slow.
Find that.
Yeah, I've seen it on social media a lot. There's only I think 11 teams right now that are falling within that trapezoid.
Wow,
it's okay if you're in the middle. Like if you're dead center in the middle, but high, it means you're average for pace of play, but you are very successful at scoring and not giving up points with how you play.
I'd like to find that graphic, Andy, for what teams made to the Sweet 16 last year, and if they remained inside that trapezoid. That'd be very, very interesting to me.
He puts it out before the tournament.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Duke, big winners over Michigan. Michigan obviously didn't fall very far. It was a neutral site game played in D.C. I made some good money on that because Duke was money line dogs. Arizona is just looking pretty damn good. Iowa State obviously had the stinker the other day where I thought that they were good. Houston seems to fall off the map. UConn, Andy, I don't know who they are. I know they're very good, well coached. They're a team that you have to take seriously. And then the Jekyll and Hyde team of the year, Andy, that I know that you can't stand, the Florida Gators.
Yeah, it seems every time I take them, they lose by 20. And when I go against them, they I apologize. We have a first time appearance on the podcast right now. Every time I go against them, they end up winning by 20. One of those weird teams, and interesting. I gotta look and see where they're actually at on the trapezoid. But Roxy, obviously a big fan of the Florida Gators this year because she's trying to eat the microphone as I'm talking about that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to label ping pong balls 1 and 2 and do the upper versus lower half of the bracket again, like you've done in the past. And geez, she's getting so big. Do you like any of these teams in the bottom 25? I know Miami, Ohio, Andy's 27-0.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I hope they are undefeated for the MAC tournament here in Cleveland.
Well, there was some talk about this, Andy. I'm glad you brought this up. If Miami, Ohio runs the table in the regular season and then has a slip up in the tournament, what do you do as the tournament committee? Because it's tough.
You still put them in. They're a top 25 team still.
I know, but that conference has one bid.
I understand that, but I think they've shown that they're deserving of an at-large bid. If they had 2 or 3 losses this year, I don't even think it's a discussion, but they've run the table, they've overcome challenges, they've come from behind and won games. I know they're not that impressive games that they're winning. The MAC competition isn't that strong, but they've answered the bell. They've
Anybody
done
else?
enough for me.
Andy, you and I have been very, very high on Alabama. What's your read?
They've fallen off, but man, can they score? They just don't play any defense. And I think when you play one of those teams, I'll refer to the trapezoid, one that plays at a very slow pace and is able to, control the pace of the game. I think that's where Alabama gets in trouble.
Illinois impressed me the other night, Andy. Who you got in the Big Ten right now?
Illinois did not impress me the other night. Saturday night,
Oh.
they ended up losing against UCLA after a very, very good win at USC. They looked like one of the best teams in the tournament, and then they straight up lose as 5.5-point favorites at UCLA. Big Ten's tough. It's definitely been one of the toughest conferences this year. But I like them. I like them to make the Final Four. Watch them get bounced first round, but I think they're a sneaky good team.
In Michigan, if you watch the Duke game, man, if they can't make the 3 ball, man, that Duke gave them trouble, man. And it could have been a blowout. Duke missed a lot of shots.
It was neutral site too, right?
DC was played where the man, Andy, you and I are very good at this, but I'm going to strike out. I don't know where the Wizards play.
I'm looking at it right now. Capital One Arena.
There you go. Okay, I like doing that with you. So damn, I didn't know that one. But yeah, I guess Wizards were at the game. But I enjoyed that game. Frustrating as a fan, but they got the W. I don't know who else I really like here. I mean, I don't know anything about the Billikens of St. Louis this year.
They've been up and down. Again, it's one of those teams where I take them, they don't cover, and when I don't, they win by 30 to 40.
I was annoyed the other. Oh, it was Iowa State. They lost to BYU.
Yeah.
BYU out of nowhere just played like the best game of the year.
Yeah, your top 3 with Duke, Arizona, Michigan. I look at the top 10. Any of these teams could win it. I don't think we're going to see in the playoff this year those 7 and up seeds.
Yep.
And
you know why?
It's going to be another one of 1s and 2s in the Final Four.
Do you want to know my opinion on that, or do you want to give me yours first?
On NIL? I don't know.
It's easy. I think that the NIL landscape has kind of finally changed things here. And there's one remaining team, Andy, that they do very poorly in NIL money. They're not one of the big garnishers, and they have a good coach in Houston. He's been able to get certain types of players that play hard and play for, hey, we need 15 offensive rebounds this game, and we're going to fight for it tooth and nail for that. I think that we saw teams like the Loyola Chicago's of the past that had 4 or 5 seniors starting that had been there for 4 years. No longer is that way. It's going back to now that these smaller schools, if you're not getting the NIL deal as a freshman, but you can play Division I basketball, you're going to go to any of these schools and become an immediate free agent. And basketball's got a problem. Football is kind of an intriguing thing to me because I feel like some of them should be getting 2-year contracts. I understand basketball. They are so close to becoming if you have the talent, you're one and done. You can leave right after your freshman year. Whereas in college, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to have played 2 years in college.
Yes.
You have to officially be a junior in college to go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Andy. I think that the day and age of developing these programs is going to become very, very difficult with the amount of money that basketball schools are able to generate. You and I have briefly on the show talked about the wrestling money. It dwarfs basketball and football, but it's one of the bigger ones getting more attention because of what they're able to do with the theatrics of these different programs. And there's not a lot of wrestling out there, but there is money involved.
Yeah.
I don't know what the solution is for basketball. You're going to see upsets, obviously, but I just don't think with the AAU crowd plus the money, some of these guys have been playing together since they were 14, 15 years old.
As you were going, talking there, I was looking at last year's bracket.
Sure.
And there was maybe 12/5. I think there was an 11/6 in Drake over Missouri. Outside of that, it's
going to be boring, Andy. I'm sorry. It's going to be a fun tournament, but I think from a gambling perspective, we're going to get lulled into taking chalk. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, especially if you're on the right side of things.
Yeah. So, I expect the tournament to kind of play out again this year as it did last year.
And they want to expand it.
That's fine. I'm okay with that because that gets a Miami, Ohio team in then.
No matter what. Right.
But I want to see Duke, Arizona, Michigan, and Houston or Iowa State or UConn or Florida in the Final Four. Like, no offense, I don't want to see St. Louis Billikens. I don't want to see Arkansas. I don't even want to see like St. John's. Those are I want to see the best 4 teams in basketball, and we got a peek of that this weekend, and it was awesome basketball that we got to watch.
Andy, before I get your pick and your dark horse, I wanted to give another gold nugget that I saw as it pertains to gambling on NCAA men's futures. Let's say that you want to take Michigan to win it all, okay? There's an interesting theory out there that you don't do the plus 300, okay? You would take the bet that you would do for your future bet. So let's say, example, it's $100. What you would do is you would put $100 on the money line for Michigan game 1. Obviously, you're not going to win very much money. It's sometimes like minus 2,000, but you're going to put $100 on the money line and you're going to roll that over to the next game, and then the next game, and then the next game. And at the end of the day, you'll end up by math with more money than you would have gotten taking Michigan to win it all right now, plus 300. Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
Yep. So that's a little hack for you at home if you are futures better like I am. I never thought about that, but the maths that you'll actually get better odds, or I'm sorry, you'll get a better payout rolling the money over that way. And you're gonna have a better cash out option, which is the money already in your pocket.
Correct.
Andy, who's your favorite? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was repeating your original question. My favorite, my dark horse.
Yes.
Oh, can I have 2 dark horses?
Yes, of course.
Dark horse wise, I'm gonna go Illinois and Kansas. I know they're not dark horses, but I'm watching Kansas right now and beat up on Houston.
Do you have the value on that, or do you need me to look it up real quick?
I don't have the values in front of me.
Go ahead. I got you.
I think top 20 or my favorite, I'm going to go with Arizona. I like the way they played this year.
Yeah, dude, they've looked like a lot of fun. Andy, my favorite, obviously, getting Duke at plus 450. Unless you want to do it the way I just explained it, I think that's a lot of fun. When I scroll down here a little bit, Iowa State completely and totally burned me last year. It's wild that the reigning champs, who I think can figure it out, the Florida Gators, you still get 12-1. I like those teams a lot. And then obviously you've probably struggled with gambling on them. The Kentucky Wildcats, Andy, are 15-1, and they always are built with being a good at least a good tournament team that can flame out.
Yeah, they've been the comeback warriors at home. There's been many games I've been watching them where they've been down 8 to 10 points at home, and you take them money line, and they've come back and won. It's just in the tournament, you're not at home,
Right.
and when you're wearing that Kentucky jersey, and you're going up against someone a MAC school or one of these smaller schools, and they're hanging around. Guess who everyone in the arena is rooting for?
Oh, it's so hard. Yep.
That's not wearing that blue and white. They want to see Kentucky lose. So I think it's a tough pull. Could have happened, absolutely, but they can't get themselves in these big holes that they've been, the Cinderella story, all year at home.
Any little NASCAR here real quick before we sign off. Tyler Reddick, back-to-back weekends, man. Daytona was fun. I didn't get the shotgun post this week, but did you have any Tyler Reddick back-to-back sprinkles or no?
I did not. I didn't take anything NASCAR this weekend.
Yeah, but you are a Daytona champ. Is there anything you want to say?
No, that was a fun race. I'm glad they got it, the entire race in. Daytona's always fun. And I showed some people that don't watch NASCAR that final clip, that last lap. And what great driving out of Tyler Reddick to, go from third past Chase Elliott and end up winning the race. But it's always such a fun race. I would hope to go one day. I keep saying that, but
right.
One of these years we'll make it down there.
Well, Andy, it was nice to have you back in here. These are the tougher episodes we have the next couple weeks. I think every 2 weeks right now until March Madness might be appropriate. So if you don't hear from us, we are still here. Country, Canada, fuck you. They're still listening, dogging our podcast. Sorry, Antona. Yeah, I mean, guys, make your own podcast and keep it going as long as Andy and I do. Look at the glow in his room right now, and had the pup on. Andy, what do you got going on at the arena?
What we don't have going on. I mean, I think we go basketball, hockey, 3 days grace on Thursday, hockey, and then off on Sunday. And I don't even know what we get into after that. And then, the MAC comes to town, NCAA wrestling comes to town. March is a very, very busy month, but I'm excited for 3 days grace on Thursday.
I love that.
It's gonna be a great show. They've got some good songs.
Yeah, I know they do. All right. Well, I'm gonna turn it over to Jameis.
One thing my trainer, he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared.
This has been another Tailgoats podcast, powered by Go Cleveland Productions.